Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us once again here for another edition of the Coach's Corner. And my name is Marcus Sillett. Assuredly, I have issues. But the purpose of my program is to share with you the wisdoms and the understandings and knowledge that I have gained and still do gain from facing the truth about me. And I thank you for taking the time out of your day, out of the busiest season of all time in your mind, to stop by. Today we're going to be talking about your security detail, and specifically the risk that you may or may not be facing. Thank you for following us on VoiceCast. Thank you for those of you that are listening on iBroadcast TV. Thank you for those of you listening on YouTube, also on Ustream. Thank you for those that are listening right there on Facebook. Thank you so much for listening to us right here on the Spreaker platform. And those of you that are listening to our block programming, thank you so much for listening to SIBN FM radio on www.sibntelevision.com. This is the Coach. Welcome aboard. Well, we are so honored to have you around. Thank you so much for taking the time out to share us with a friend. We really appreciate you. Every time you stop by, you make someone else's destiny a reality. This is what life is really about. The For More for Life campaign, with 30 days toward change, 90 days to keep it the same, is a lot of work. I was just thinking before coming on the air that the subconscious mind of yesterday is just a hand's or stone's throw away. It doesn't or wouldn't take much for something to rattle the old you. Even though you dismiss the prints of the past, it seems to leave a residue. Even though you have new prints, you must remind yourself with certain strategies and tactics and wisdoms, regurgitating certain understandings and recapping, rethinking certain aspects of knowledge. You must understand and tell yourself, I've come too far to turn back now. The For More for Life campaign that I'm running is not to impress. Most assuredly, it is definitely not to aggregate folks my way, sucking up just to have some friends. The For More for Life campaign that I'm running is not to acquire my dream car and dream house. For I realize now and understand that the physical dimensions of prosperity are simply magnetic pulses, of which are the byproducts of a designated momentum. That if I took the time to write down and visualize, of course, by all means, focus all my attention and energy and finances on preparing myself for my dream car, I assuredly probably could achieve it. But then at the end of its material gain, what would be next? What can give you the satisfaction that your dream car, what you think now can, if you achieved it, will not? People don't tell you about those stories. They tell you about the super rich, the 140-foot yachts, 20 feet, 28 feet, 30 feet, 50 feet wide. The Lamborghinis and the Ferraris. And on the tube or television, they portray the extreme happiness and perhaps somewhat arrogant. And the term that I always hear is that, well, I work hard. That's what I always hear. But I believe there's a story that says that the man that was first worked hard, but the man that was last, that nobody wanted to hire, worked just as hard as the first man. But the first man was jealous and envious and made a lot of ruckus about the last man getting the same amount of salary or blessings or wisdoms or knowledge or understanding as the first man. How can the last man come in and get what I've gotten because I was here first? I was first on the clock. I was first in the field. I was first to reap a harvest. I was first to be accepted. I was first to be engraved. I was first to be inaugurated. I was first to be engrafted. So how can the last one, the one that just barely made it in, the guy that had 2 failed marriages, the girl that had 6 abortions, how can they come in and get the same reward that I've gotten having been here first? Well, because the first shall be last and the last shall be first. I felt something push me right there. I tell myself, and I'm telling you every single day, it does not matter to me how super rich the other guy is. It does not matter to me how super rich the other girl is. I keep hearing stories of success, and yes, that's good. It feeds my destiny. I have no problem with that. But you got to be laser focused right about now for you to get from plan A to plan B, from plan B to plan C, from plan C to plan D. Come on. You got to be laser focused right about now and get your minds off of the wealth and get your mind on the internal unity that I must have in order to achieve lasting, longing success. And have an attitude of I need to be enjoying this process on my way to success. As it relates to security and risk, you have the calculated risk. You have the predictable risk. The two that comes to mind right now. I've always said for many years, and I heard it in a very popular television show recently, I've always said the moment you become predictable, you become expendable. It is not to say that we must all of a sudden become promiscuous in order to throw off our opponents or those who may be in the winning circle with us, but it is assuredly true that we must change tactics and strategies to acquire a new us every day. That alone is a task. Security detail requires an assessment, and it involves risk. Well, Coach Marcus, why do I need a security detail? I'm just a little old mother over here with 3 kids. We're just a little couple over here. We go to our church and we praise the Lord, and we have no quorums with the law. And we over here, we are conservatives and Republicans, and we don't see the need for war here. And we over here believe in gay rights, and we have all this plethora of beliefs and mixtures of cultural stances. You're going to need some security if you're going to change. If you're going to transition to a place that you've never been, you need security. Security that is assessed and security that acknowledges there is risk. There's a chance that someone could take you out. Let's accept that right there. There's a chance. There's a chance that a rumor can ruin you. There's a chance. Talking about risk. There's a chance that something deep down from your past that you forgot about or that you ignored or survived. You know, when we survive things, we have buried them to the degree that it seems like to others that we've ignored them. But what we have done, we have pushed them so far into the depths of our minds that we just cannot even recall the details until a like scenario appears. And all of a sudden, we remember. That's the print from the subconscious now, sending up data to the conscious that, remember, we live here. We remember. While you thought you were free and clear of the tragedies of yesterday, the subconscious mind tends to pull you back in so many different ways. And there are those of us who think that we are invulnerable, those of us who think that we can talk our way out and we could argue our way out and we could attitude our way out. These are security risks. Denying the reality of what can and will or has happened to you or a candidate like you is a risk. A risk. You're not that bad. Neither am I. You're just not that bad. It seems as though we are, though. I mean, we feel that way. We feel powerful. We feel, you know, especially after the certain accomplishments that we have under our belts, you know, the degrees that we have, the status, the cars that we drive, the people that we marry, the people that we love, the people that we hang around with, and the families that we herald from. The churches, most assuredly the churches and the rectors or the shepherds or the bishops or the pastors, or the leaders over us, gives us some kind of invulnerable feeling of being able to escape all risk. But risk denied is not risk. That is not probable. Just because I say it ain't so doesn't mean it can't happen. Life still happens, and in every campaign, the moment you step out of the private corridors of your home, of your office, of your business, and you decide this business is going to the next level, this relationship is going to the next level, not by him but by her, or not by her but by him, not by them but by me. This parent-child relationship has to change. This booty call mentality has to stop, or this disease has to go. The moment that you step up and you want more in and for life, you need security. Well, what is security? Well, first, remember the risk and the threat. Everybody doesn't want what you want. Everybody doesn't believe what you believe. Everybody, they can smile in your face and put a knife in your back in the next hour. Their station ID, as it were, is I like you, but I can't stand you. And I want to be in your life long enough, just enough, so that I can keep up with what you're doing to make sure that you don't get ahead of what it is that I believe you deserve. Who died and left you in charge? That's what you end up saying to them when you find out the dirt that they've done. Security. What kind of security do you need? You need loyal friends. Loyal friends are a type of security. And loyal friends don't come cheap and they don't come easy, because it requires, as I've always said, that you are internally integral. And loyal friends also comes with the reality that whatever I achieve or attract to myself is because I've begun to treat myself with the same respect I expect in a loyal friend. I ain't talking about folks you go out drinking with and folks that you have cocktails with and folks that talk the same language. What is a loyal friend? A loyal friend is someone who knows how weak you really are, but they see your strength and they push you. They offend you. They aggregate you. Then you celebrate together the achievements and the milestones. A loyal friend is security in change and transition. I felt that right there. A loyal friend is hard to find. If you become a friend to you, maybe perhaps in this life, you will begin then to attract. But once you stop feeling sorry for yourself and stop scratching and scrounging after folks to accept you, after you've been rejected for a number of years, if you could heal from the inside out instead of from the outside in, then you might again find a loyal friend. Loyal friends tighten up the security that you're going to need for change and transition. We'll talk about that a little bit more. What is the security that he's talking about? Well, I just gave you a sneak peek. Loyal friend. Some of y'all have loyal friends and don't even know it. How about that? There's somebody that believes in you, somebody that calls out the best in you, somebody that knows the dirt on you, somebody that has offended you. Most people think that if you've offended them, then that you're not their friend. Farthest thing from the truth. For if you do not offend, assuredly it proves you're not a loyal friend. Because friends do not just tell and say anything for the loveliness of listening. Friends get on each other's nerves, and there's seasons and there's reasons. But security can be found in a loyal friend. There is, for those of you that go to church, a song that says, "What a friend we have in Jesus." What a friend we have in Jesus. What a friend. I might as well go ahead and give you the sneak peek of the second security blanket that covers you. A divine intervention. Divine interceptor. A divine intercessor. Interceptor and intercessor. You're going to need some security. You're going to need the hand of God if you're going to change. You're going to need the hand of God. Do you know that you could be so hurt, so broken, so distraught that truth becomes obscure? You could be so abandoned, so broken, so scarred, the truth becomes like an opaque. You can see right through it to something else, but never to it. And you and I had been scarred up to now. Oh, everybody has a story. That's why there's glory, because something to aspire to. But we have to rewrite our stories. You did not go through the hell and the high water of life, surviving this and that, them and those, to come here and just to get a dream car, a dream house, a contract, a good job, and run around with a bunch of drinking buddies or church buddies, because it usually goes one extreme to the other. Either they all go to church with you and you guys never do anything evil, never do anything worldly, or they all go to the bar with you and listen to all your problems and sob stories. That you didn't come all the way from the eternal bliss to where you are right now just to pay bills. There's something special about you. There's something intentional about the creative you or the created you. But the problem is that your security has been wrapped up in the sense of understanding that you got this. I told you, IGT, a lot of folk got a bad dose of I got this. And that's why your security, the risk, we didn't talk about that as much, but the vulnerability is in the predictability of your campaign. When everybody knows that you're going to be the same old person that you always have been, then you're at risk. And the threat assessment goes up. And you can't blame nobody but yourself when you take a hit. And you might as well take a few hits. You're going to learn to take. It's going to be some bad days. They said that Mitt Romney's campaign was ran on a point system. If he thought he was doing good, it was a 900 that day. If he thought he did bad, it was a 200. I don't know about that. But we'll talk more. I'll see you next time. Follow me if you can. You're listening to SIBN Radio on the Select USA TV iBroadcasting Network. You're listening to SIBN Radio.